Stream started. Going live. Namisha.
Okay.
Going live in 3, 1. You're live.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to CampusCare at Talks. In September 2015, the United Nations General Assembly adopted the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development that includes 17 Sustainable Development Goals. The guiding principle behind the goals is to leave no one behind. The new agenda emphasizes a holistic approach to achieve sustainable development for all. On nearing the completion of almost 5 years of adoption of SDGs, today in Campus Care at Talks, we have a very experienced educator and school leader with us. She is a pioneer in mapping this entire school curriculum with United Nations 17 SDGs and has been validated as a global master trainer on 21st century skills by British Council. She has also trained 1200 plus educators all over India. She has represented her school in United Nations Trusteeship Council at UN headquarters. She also holds the chair SDG Edu Chopal, Education Wing of SDG Chopal, which is dedicated to support the national and state government's effort on SDG implementation. With this, I would like to welcome Paramjeet Kaur Dhillon ma'am, Principal of Kamla Nehru Public School, Fagwara. Welcome to Ed Talks, ma'am.
Thank you, Namisha. It's a pleasure to be with you today.
Thank you so much, ma'am. The 17 goals in general focuses on reducing poverty, hunger, inequality, promoting quality education, gender equality. The goals equally pay attention to the economic growth, climate change, responsible consumption, world peace, and justice. Of all the 17 goals, the goal 4 specifically mentions quality education. This goal aims that all girls and boys complete pre-primary and secondary schooling by 2030. It also aims to provide equal access to affordable vocational training as to eliminate gender and wealth disparities with the aim of achieving universal success to a quality higher education. So ma'am, would you please tell us about all the 17 SDGs? Would you just brief it out for our audience?
Okay. So it was way back in 2015 when world leaders from 193 countries made a promise to the people of this world. They said, let's build a safer world, a sustainable world, a world where there's no poverty, a world where there's no hunger, where gender equality is practiced, where there's quality education, where there's good health for everybody, where life on land and underwater and climate action is taken care of, where sustainable cities and communities are there. All these goals, all 17 of them, which talks about the planet, people, and prosperity. So these 17 goals, and of course the 16th is a strong institution, peace, justice, and strong institution, and 17 as partnership for goals. So all of us, be it the children, elders, countries, smaller, bigger, everybody, leave no one behind, and we all work for these 17 goals to make a sustainable world. So these are the 17 goals, dear.
So, ma'am, talking about the 17 goals, would you please explain the significance of this term, the quality education?
Okay. Talking about quality education, it is goal number 4, SDG goal number 4, quality education. And quality education means that the holistic development of the child happens. The social, the emotional, the cognitive, the physical, the mental, all-round development of the child happens irrespective of caste, color, creed, ethnicity, geographic locations, irrespective of everything, the socio-economic status, anything and everything, irrespective of everything, the overall, the complete development of the child is quality education. And these children should be productive citizens in the days to come and contribute, and they can lead the future as such. So that is quality education, it's all about the complete child.
Yes, ma'am. So, ma'am, according to the Ministry of Statistics under Government of India, the youth population, consists about 34%. So, what does these goals mean for a young nation?
See, if I look at how UNO defines youth population, it is between 14 years to 24 years, right? And future is the place where these young boys and girls are going to live. So they need to script their own future. And if they want our country, a young nation with 34% youth, they need to build a country on the basis of SDGs. SDGs ought to be the building block. Look at Greta Thunberg, all right? She is leading, looking after she's an advocate for climate action. So our children should also, if they want a world, they want a country, India, a nation where peace prevails, they need to keep SDG 16 in mind. If they want sustainable consumption and production, they need to keep that in mind. I'm sure they want a place which is wonderful. The equalities there, reduced inequalities are there. Where both the gender, men, women, everybody, they are, all of them are seen with the same eye. Where quality education is there, and all people, all Indians need to be healthy Indians, where there's no poverty. It's we visualize everything good. And SDGs is nothing but prosperity. It is nothing but peace. So these children need to script their own future if they want a wonderful world. And nation wants these, the younger generation to build India the way they would like to spend their life in the type of India they want. So the youth has to take the reins in hand. The youth has to work hard and keeping the SDGs in mind, build our country, our India, a nation of youth.
Yes, ma'am. I just hope that our youth generation, implement all these SDGs. So, ma'am, carrying forward the discussion, the two recent developments will further change the outlook of education system. So, firstly, there is COVID. Then, secondly, there is the new national education policy. So, talking about the new education policy first, the new policy is quite in similar lines with the SDG. So, how do you see this new policy?
It's a welcome policy for me when I talk about, especially about quality education. That's goal number 4 of SDGs. If I talk about now, these 17 SDGs have targets also. So every goal has some targets. So 160 plus targets are there for all the 17 goals. So if I look at target 4.1, means target of quality education, it is giving primary education and secondary education to all children. All right, and that should be equitable, and it should be learning opportunity should be given to all by 2030. That's what 4.1 target speaks about, and the learning objective should also be achieved. So that's 4.1, and that's exactly what is there in a NEP. To be very frank, when I was going through NEP, I found that before we begin with the first chapter of NEP, in the introduction itself, they say the entire NEP is focused on quality education because India is one of the signatories of this sustainable development goals. So it is keeping that in mind, the entire policy is framed. And then see, if I look at 4.2, the target 4.2, that is equal access to quality education, special attention to be given to the kindergarten. All right. And this time in our NEP also, they have entirely changed the model. They said instead of 10 plus 2, we'll be having 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4. And this 5 has the Anganwadi workers, their kindergarten, plus class 1 and 2. So it is NEP is actually correlated with the SDGs. And if I look at 4.3, that is equal access to technical and vocational education. That's what SDG target says. And here in NEP, they said at least 10 days should be such that children actually have some vocational training, hands-on training. And all these vocational and skill subjects need to start, so even coding need to start from grade 6. So it is totally in compliance with SDG 4, that is quality education. So I'm very thankful to the vision with which this NEP has been now planned. And I'm sure if all goes well, I'm sure it should go well, it will be implemented beautifully in all our schools.
Yes, ma'am. I hope so too about that. So now I'm coming back to the global pandemic that COVID has provided an opportunity to reshuffle our priorities and reform a every system in place. So talking about the new priorities, good health and climate change, sanitation, responsible consumption are already part of SDG exclusively. So how can schools nurture these among the students in the post-COVID era?
So you're talking about good health, right? You're talking about sanitation, you're talking about climate change, you're talking about responsible consumption. Namisha, you know, our children are the children who have faced pandemic at such a young age.
Yeah.
I had never gone through a pandemic all my life, right? And these children have faced. They know what good health is all about. They know that in order to face these health challenges, the immunity has to be strong. They need to eat right, they need to exercise, and that's what all of us are doing during this remote learning we are teaching them. They know sanitation is very, very important. They need to keep their hands clean. Everything around them should be, of course, it should be hygienic as such. Talking about the climate, recently I watched the news wherein it was Jaipur, it was flooded badly just in half an hour, and people who were there in the alleys, just in front of the houses, they were just being drowned. So that is the type of climate change. So we need to make sure, means most of the things children have learned by experience, rather than we telling them what to do. When they'll be coming back to us post-COVID, I'm sure they'll be sharing so many more experiences, and it will be so easy to teach them and make them live what is required in the days to come. So I think it will be okay and pretty easy for all the children to understand all these things.
So, ma'am, you just talked about the physical health about the student. So, in this, obviously, we are going everybody who's a student, children from nursery to 12th, they're all having their online classes. So, how you guys are catering the physical health of a student?
You know, the HRD ministry has given some guidelines. The CPC has given some guidelines. We begin our class, the morning session, with some physical activity,
Okay.
some art integration, some music and dance, right? So that that is keeping the mental well-being of a child. Followed by a regular class. During the regular class, especially the little ones, we say, now go and find something which is circular in shape. You walk around.
Okay.
And I told, don't sit in front of the screen for more than 20 minutes. Let the volume of your laptop, your device, your mobile, your iPad would be there loud. Please walk around. Do some stretching. All right? Let's do some breathing. We're doing all this. And we have a special well-being call every day for half an hour, where we don't talk about academics, where we don't talk about anything else, where the children are singing or dancing, or they're talking about some issues or challenges which they are facing. And the teacher, of course, is there with them, and they are, they're just pouring everything to the teacher. This happened, that happened. This is the way we're going to go about. So we are looking into the well-being. And the physical education class is also there. Come on, let's do skipping. 50 skippings. Let's see how you do it. They're doing it. They're actually doing it. We're looking after our children with lots of sincerity, They actually.
This is great, ma'am, actually. Taking 20 minutes gap after the class and telling the students to, just find something, don't sit on the screen for more than 20 minutes. This is
Yes.
actually a great initiative. So, ma'am, as we are moving forward, teachers play a really crucial role in nurturing kids to become better citizens. For the same, we need to invest more in teachers and education system as an educator. So, which are the primary areas which need immediate attention according to you?
With the, looking at the present conditions, right? The COVID times, most important skill which a teacher should have is the ICT, information and communication technology as such. So I believe the teacher needs to be empowered. If we want anything good to happen, right, when it comes to education, it is total empowerment of the teacher. And especially the ICT skills need to be more. Coming to it in our school, we are a Microsoft Showcase school, so God's grace, we are a school in a village. We are catering to 65 villages. And when things went wrong in China, we thought maybe we too might have to go online. And this foresight of ours, of the leadership team, of the management, we sat together and we planned. And remember, my children are first generation learners, so many of the parents are not educated. We wanted to teach them this particular tool, the Microsoft Teams, how to go about it. And we actually planned examinations accordingly, having some gaps in between. And we actually planned training sessions because the results was not given on the same day. It was given on different days. When it was given on different days, the teachers were available and one-to-one training we gave. And then we prepared our own lessons and then we went with a bang from 2nd of April. All right. So ICT is very because we've already trained so well, we could do it. And in my school, we promote lots of online courses and earning some badges. And we have this year we have 84 educators who are Microsoft Innovative Educator Expert, which is a record in itself. All right. And then we have some Minecraft global mentors where we can use this gaming for teaching to be innovative as such. And not to finish up here, I am sitting for an examination on 30th, and this is Microsoft Certified Educator, not the only person sitting. I have a team of 21 teachers who are sitting for an examination. So what was the need? We could sit comfortably at home. But then, what is important is empowerment, and being part of this team, preparing. That's how we go about. Some of my teachers are the creative educators. We have done the level 1, they have crossed. So it's continuous learning which is happening, the continuous empowerment which is happening, and empowered educators lead to engaged classrooms, lead to learning happening in the classroom, lead to care, affection, and preparing the children to be global citizens, great citizens. So that's what happens in our school. And of course, the SDG is very close to our heart. So after every remote learning session, which we are having every day, the last slide is we are having synchronous learning, by the way. So the teacher is live and active on her system, and the children are sitting in their places, and then the learning goes on. So the last slide is related to the SDGs on whichever the topic is. Suppose it is Mahatma Gandhi's Be Smart or something in grade 9, then we have goal number 16, which is put up, that is peace, justice, and strong institutions. So that's the way we go about it.
Ma'am, I think the teachers are doing really great, and they're learning every day. Because I have heard like some of the teachers were not tech friendly, but now they're so tech savvy that yeah. So they it's I have a huge respect for all the teachers doing online classes and doing everything.
It's no longer 6 hour school. It is 27 by 24 by 7 now. We are connecting with them every time, and we are preparing the lessons every day. The PowerPoint presentations need to be made, or they're making some presentation using any other tool, and they are going ahead. So it is walking in the classroom and teaching so interesting and so easy. But online teaching is not everybody's cup of
Yes,
tea.
ma'am.
And
Definitely.
we stretched, we rose up to the occasion, and we embraced the challenge. That's how it goes.
Definitely, ma'am. So, ma'am, finally coming to those on whom these policies concern the most, like our children. So, how can schools explain them the urgency of these needs?
See, again, the children have gone through this pandemic. They have, the schools have gone to the bedrooms, the school have gone to the drawing rooms, and it's gone everywhere. The parents are also attending. Along with the parents, the children also realize that all that is being done right now is in their interest. It is for them. They need to understand that come what may, they need to be responsible for their own academics. The NEP is specifically for them. The SDGs are specifically for them. The teacher empowerment is all because we want our children to do extremely well. So at the end of the day, schools are for children. We are for children, right? The teachers are for children. The parents are for children. And children is the future. They need to be great Indian citizens to become great global citizens. And we are working for that. And when I say we're doing 18 courses, so it's all about 21st century skills. It's all about communication and collaboration. It is all about self-regulation. It is real-world problem solving. So all these are 21st century learning designs. How should we have our lessons and our activities so that through these lessons and activities, our children can learn what skilled communication is all about? All about. They could use ICT for their learning. So all this is building our children, and all it is the student-centered education which we have. It's all for the children.
Okay. So, ma'am, as you're a globally validated master trainer on 21st century core skills, so I would like to ask you, how are you working on imbibing the core competencies in students?
Okay. So throughout the year, whatever activities we have, all these core competencies, when I talk of British Council and their 21st century skills they talk about, it is all about communication and collaboration. It is all about creativity and imagination. It is all about critical thinking and problem solving. It is all about digital literacy and student leadership. So these are the core skills which the British Council advocates. So now all our activities are keeping these in mind. Okay, so what we did, it was on 4th of November to 4th of November, 12 o'clock at midnight to 6th of November 2019, we had this Global Learning Connect. All right, and this is what? This is nothing but Skype sessions. And these Skype sessions, we connected with 494 global classes in 57 different countries. The largest in India, and the Microsoft suitably, thanks to them, they acknowledged and they appreciated, and they actually, honored us for that. So that's what communication and collaboration is all about. We would learn about their cultures, they would listen about what food we eat, how school education is, and we did talk about SDGs because nothing happens in our school where we don't talk about SDGs. We also talked about artificial intelligence because last year we focused a lot on artificial intelligence in every activity. Coming to creativity and imagination, we had a whole school art mela. All right from my kindergarten to grade 12. Oh, it was such a lovely sight. Children were sitting in the corridors, some craft work was being done, some painting was being done, and it was all creative. Whole school art mela with children sitting inside because they wanted to paint and draw. They moved out to corridors. It was such a colorful day, and of course, SDGs were catered in mind. And during this art mela, we also had a hub schools. Now, what are hub schools? CBSE says that a cluster of 4-5 schools where resources could be used is a wonderful idea. And they make one school as a lead school. Fortunately, by the grace of God, we are a lead school for another 5 schools. So we had this 150-meter long monochromatic SDGs being drawn. So one color plus minus shade. and we had such a long poster being made. And there were children from all my five schools. We had about 20 children from each school, and they were sitting in a auditorium, and a long poster was there, and that was prepared. So that was all about creativity and imagination. Moving on to critical thinking and problem solving, if I talk about, then you know what we are the national winners of AI for Good challenge. And what is this national winner for AI for Good challenge? It was for all over India. It was a competition where you could create something, and it was creativity. And what did we do? It was last session only CBSE introduced this artificial intelligence, and some of the books were not there. And so what we did, my children prepared, of course, under the able guidance of my mentor, and she's Miss Tejinder, they prepared a bot. And this bot could answer every question related to this artificial intelligence. And the class used it beautifully. And for that, we were national winners. And then again, I come to another critical thinking problem. We worked on a resource management project, and this was for CBSE, and we were national winners for that. A wonderful project. What a thought. I owe it to all my chemistry department, Mr. Rajiv Vashisht. You know what we did? We took the urine from the boys' washroom, and we actually made it. We made it go through filters, and then carbon also, and then we could have water which was rich in urea, which was used for a garden, and we were national winners. And this is not a imaginary project. It is actually happening in the school. So that was all about creative thinking and problem solving, real life problem solving. Digital literacy, we have gone for BIAD. That's bring your own device. Okay, so now we have these Wi-Fi classes, and remember my children, they are from villages, keep it in mind. And these children, the teachers are teaching them, and they are bringing their mobile. Somebody's bringing an iPad, somebody's bringing a laptop. They're bringing, and we're using that as such, and they're taught through that. So that was digital literacy we talked about. And of course, the teachers are empowered. They've actually done so much of work, so much of learning has happened, and it's lots of hand holding. I have learned this, I'm going to have a class for all the related teachers. It goes like that. The training sessions keep on happening. So, that's it. And then, of course, student leadership. A wonderful example of student leadership is we have learning marketplace in our school. And what is this learning marketplace? Learning marketplace is a marketplace where lots of learning is happening. So, every class is given in SDG Pro, and the class changes into an exhibition hall, and the parents invited, and students from the neighborhood school are invited, and then these children who have various projects in hand, they are explaining it. All right, and it's total on SDGs, and this time we use AI. As I said, last year was the year for AI, and these children said, how can AI help to have, say, good health? How could AI, how can the medical checkups can be done and all those things, and how AI can be used to reduce inequalities, how AI can be used for to build sustainable cities and sustainable communities. So lots of AI in every class had they had group projects, and they talked about. And then lastly, coming to student leadership, student leadership is the children, they come out and they usher the visitors inside. Every group has a leader there, so the leadership is being developed. The student leadership is not limited to just the prefectorial board. Everywhere they're empowered. They're empowered when it comes to various skills. And then they have a voice. We use Flipgrid, Microsoft tool, in a big way, where the students can record the videos and speak about. So many activities are there wherein we are trying to develop the 21st century core skills. And lastly, we had this, we take part in lots of international projects. So we said, why not have our own project? So we went for a project, and that's known as the Friendly AI, where we had 2,400 students from all over the world, from 24 countries joining us. And it was what is AI, playing with AI, and creating AI, and how AI can be used for SDGs. It was a 4 weeks long project, and we had so many children from all over the world participate in this project. That was sheer creativity. That was sheer All the skills added up together. It was communication, it was collaboration, it was digital literacy, it was students' leadership, everything.
Wonderful, ma'am. You've utilized AI in so many different categories, creative thinking, and environment and everything. Wonderful, ma'am. So, ma'am, lastly, I would like to ask you: do you have any advice to all the parents, students, and teachers to be stress-free in this pandemic situation?
It's very important. I think the most relevant question in the present scenario. Uh, how can we go about? When it comes to my teachers, I have a well-being call. We call it a Teams call. Uh, all my 90 odd teachers, we are there together for about 30 to 1 hour duration. What went good in their class? Namisha, can you believe that? We didn't go for summer vacations this year. Rise up to the occasion is what we believe in. Children had to be engaged usefully, and engagement was totally in this remote weather. So during this 1 hour call which we have, the Teams call with the staff, we talk with each other. We begin with a small little prayer that, oh God, help us. Even in our classes, we begin with a small little prayer. Oh God, this time should pass away, and the good things should prevail, and let's be healthy and happy once again. So I believe in meditating now. I personally started going for meditation, and I go for 10 minutes meditation. Of course, the morning walk, we, the older generation perhaps, love to get up early in the morning. So 5:20, I'm out on my rooftop walking around, followed by some exercises, then followed by some physical exercises, then some breathing, followed by meditation 10 minutes. And the best part is about 90% of my teachers are on, rather everybody's on Twitter. And every day I try to send one message, whatever I've learned from that meditation, to all my staff, which everybody sees. That's taking everybody together, practicing good health and well-being, and of course, the parents also attend the well-being call with their teachers along with their children. That's what we try to do.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much for your wonderful thoughts and about all the things that you've mentioned about SDGs. So, before concluding the webinar, I would like to quickly sum up and emphasize on the fact that though there are scarce resources and challenges in the way, the timely implementation and right execution of the SDGs can paint a wonderful picture of education system in India. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much for giving us your time today.
Thank you, dear. I enjoyed, and I owe it to my educators, my students, and the parents of my school. And of course, the management's blessings always there.
Thank you, ma'am. Bye-bye, ma'am.
Bye, dear. Bye.